Hello, my name is Lindsay. I am a undergraduate computer science major from the University of Alabama. Today we're going to be talking about HandMap, a motion capture application that is still undergoing development. So what is HandMap? Skipped a slide. HandMap is a hand tracking application that aims to make a way to record hand motions for later recall and use. Currently it records your palm position, but full hand and finger support is planned for later implementation. Right now it records your hand movements and stores them for later use. And it lets you title each motion with a description. So, the motivation behind this was there are no motion capture programs or a library of motion capture classes that allow for recording of hand motions. There's also no program or library that allows for the recording of gestures. So right now it uses the Leap Motion Controller, a neat little device that uses infrared imaging to determine where all the joints in your hand are. You can see this nice little quote from the Ultra Leap website, who they bought out Leap Motion, so they are currently selling these. So a neat little programming tip for if you want persistence beyond just a simple running of a program. Text files are very simple. They're very easy to implement if you want to use save data. It's going to be easier for beginner programmers to create text files than some of the other options that are available. It's not very secure, which is kind of why it's not used as much. You can see the data and change it, and others can as well. I kind of use text files because they were easier to help me visualize the data. And that's sort of the appeal for beginner programmers as well. So this is kind of a short section. HandMap was done with the goal of making a library of classes and functions that would work together to define hand motions. So right now I have several classes dedicated to storing the idea of a hand motion. So like right now it does palm position. Eventually it will do full fingers and possibly the arms, because Leap Motion allows you to record all of that within a radius. Each module in the library would add a different functionality, such as comparison or a graphic interpretation. So sort of like if you're trying to learn hand motions in your library, you could see it done on screen and then mimic it. So it's still undergoing development. I started development in February of 2020, right about the time that the ongoing pandemic started, and it's still undergoing development as we speak. So here's a quick demonstration. I'm gonna show you that. I made a video on that, and there are some features that I want to talk about. So here's the demo. So right here, you can see I already have some motions saved from a debugging spree. I'm going to delete those really quickly. So now it shows the library is empty. And so one of the things that took me a while was figuring out how to represent this in the in a program, like just a command line program, and numbers were the best way. So here I'm also going to be creating some example motions. For example motion 1, I'm going to be moving my hand from left to right, and I'm going to show that in the description as well. And it takes a minute to connect to the controller, and once it does, that's on me. Let me skip to right here, back to where we were. So, like I said, it takes a minute to connect, but once it's connected, you can just record, and you'll enter some text, and it'll finish. Like I said, this is still sort of early in development, but as you can see, it shows the name, the description, and the next prompt for you to either create, delete, compare, or quit. So I'm also going to create a second motion, sort of to show you that there are other things, well, not other things, you can do more with it. So for this motion, I went up and down above the controller. So it's gonna go for a second while I connect it. So anyway, so now you see there are two motions right here, and I'm gonna quit and show you in the text file what it looks like. So this motion didn't actually capture. I think my hand was too far above, but here you can see each of these numbers. So like here you have the name, description, how many data points we have, and all of the data points. So the first, it goes in groups of three. The first one is the X component, the Y component, the Z component of a frame, and then it skips another, or it doesn't skip, but like it goes to the next frame all the way down until you get to 89 frames of data. And then to stop it, it goes 0, 0, 0. And then we have the new, which sort of indicates to it that it should not be continued. So, and then persistence here makes it very useful. That's why I used text files here. So, the currently implemented features. Let me full screen real quick. So right now it captures hand motions, and with the description, it stores your library for you to use later. It's command line use with the text-based interface, and it has a basic library of commands and classes that you call on. So ongoing development. So the first thing the thing I'm working on currently is the compare function. So I have included a screenshot right there of how the compare function works currently. So this is just comparing example motion 1 and example motion 2. As you can see, it's very bugged. On the z-axis, it's 140% similar to motion 1. So I think like that's going to be changed a lot. It's still in a debugging state. Like I said, this is still a work in progress, but it's getting there. So we also have a graphical interface as an ongoing development. That's going to be farther into development. There's finger support. Like I said, currently it supports where your palm is, and extractable modules where you can use them. You can use all of this library in your own programs and not have to code it yourself. So some potential uses that I found really interesting. The first one is create a library of hand motions. This is not the program either. This is a program called the Visualizer that came with the software for this. And I took a picture right there. So HandMap can create a library of different hand motions and allow them to compare them to other motions in your library. Sort of what I was talking about earlier with the tutor or learning new languages like sign language or construction signage. I'm sure there are other forms of hand signaling communication out there that would benefit from this software. So another really interesting use of this software is a contactless keypad. It can record keystrokes and cross-reference them with previously recorded ones and input it as a code. And this has become especially relevant because it can protect you from touching contaminated public surfaces, like during a pandemic. So that's all I had for now. Thank you so much for watching this, and thank you.